Hi everyone, it's Matthew Griffin, better known as a fanatical futurist. I'm the CEO and founder of the 311 Institute. We're a global futures and deep futures think tank looking up to 50 years out. I scan hundreds of different emerging technologies, hundreds of trends, etc., etc., etc. And today, basically, I'm going to be showing you something that me and my son did a very long time ago. We're going to use ChatGPT basically to write a book. And this is actually the book that it wrote. Now, in this particular book, it's about 75 pages long. Basically, we've made tens of thousands of dollars for charity, so you can buy it off the website. Everything was AI generated. So, for example, all of the images were generated using Midjourney in this particular case. And then when we have a look at all the text, for example, here we go. When we have a look at all the text was generated by AI, except for the introduction. So this particular book basically is called Coaching for Performance Runners because my son is in Team GB. He's also 10 and he found using ChatGPT to create a book easier than using a calculator. His words, not mine. And frankly, basically, it was actually a really fun little experiment. Now, I put this book in front of UK ministers at Department of Work and Pensions, basically, so they're responsible for trying to figure out what the future of the UK workforce looks like. One of the topics we were obviously talking about was the future impact of artificial intelligence on the workforce. Now, I'll cover that basically in another video blog because these technologies automate a lot of different jobs and skills, but they also democratize access to those same jobs and skills. Because, for example, Caden's not an artist. However, we managed to create all of these images in seconds. So anyway, getting on with it, I'll show you how you write a book. So you've got to think about what kind of book you'd actually like to write. So for example, let's be completely random. Let's write a knitting book. Give me a title for a book on knitting, right? Okay, I know that all you teenagers basically love this particular hobby. So anyway, it's now going to basically create a title. You can create your own title, etc., etc. Now create a set of chapters for a book called, and I'm actually just going to copy that. Here we go, called whatever that is. A comprehensive guide to knitting techniques. Okay. So now basically we've got our chapter list. Now you can obviously sort of check these yourselves, etc., etc. I'm just doing a really fast demo. I showed a bunch of 8-year-olds how collectively they could actually write a book in about 2 minutes because we used this technique and then they put everything together in like a sort of crowdsourced workshop and off we go. And now basically all that we do basically is write up to 2,000 words of content for the first chapter. Now it should know basically what the first chapter is, the basics of knitting, yarn, needles and gauge, right? I don't even know what gauge is, so it's doing better than me. So here we go. That's your first chapter. And then you kind of get the idea. You do this with the second chapter, third, fourth, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, etc. You put this basically into a Word document. You then use AI to image generators like Midjourney, DALL-E, etc., etc., Stable Diffusion to create some images, etc., etc., just like we did. And there you go. And as I've sort of explained in other videos, but if you really sort of want to actually embellish this, so for example, if you don't just want a chapter that is 1 to 2 pages long, then you can simply just get ChatGPT to write a more detailed explanation of what gauge is. Okay, so it said gauge. So originally, basically, it kind of created 2 sentences on gauge, whatever gauge is in knitting circles. But here we go. Yeah, now we've actually created kind of a page. So, I know actually a couple of futurists that have said that because ChatGPT can now write books, and it can't really, it's just, we're just being slightly inventive with the prompts. I can't actually at the moment say to ChatGPT, write an entire book on X. I have to break it down into these little chunks and everything else. However, really, once they start taking the blinders basically off ChatGPT, it could actually write a 20,000 word book or a 200,000 word book. That'll come in time. But as I say, I do know a number of futurists that have said, I was going to write my 9th book, but because AI can now write books, I'm not going to bother. Now, I think it's down to you to determine whether or not that's actually the approach you want to take. I think that's kind of defeatist. But on the one hand, basically, this does actually open a new way to create content at scale. For Caden's book, I actually got approached by WSJ, as well as a couple of other sort of distribution houses and everything else. It's like, why do we really need basically book distributors, etc., etc.? This is on the website. It's free to download. If you want to buy a physical copy, you've got to pay for it because everything's for charity. But anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I've got lots of other content basically on ChatGPT, as well as other topics basically in the pipeline. So have a great day. Take it easy. And that's it. That's me. Out. Bye-bye.